Hi, welcome to Hellohire. Today we're going to be having a look at the data and reporting that you have access to as an employer participating in a job fair or career fair on the Hellohire platform. As always, we'll start out by logging into our accounts at tryhellohire.com. I'll click on Login to get into my account. And then we'll head over to the Hiring Events tab, where you'll be able to find any of the past events that you participated in on the Hellohire platform. We're going to have a look at this City of Toronto Retail Job Fair demo account. So I'll click on that to go in. And then I'm going to look at the reports in the left menu. So I'm clicking on Event Reports, which is going to show me three kinds of reports, and we'll have a look at each of these: the one-on-one interviews report, leads report, and group sessions report. We'll start with one-on-one interviews. All reports follow a similar structure where you're going to see the report name and some summary information at the top. With the one-on-one interviews report, which is the report that shows you each one-on-one interview that your team conducted during the event, you'll see a summary of the number of conversations and how many of the candidates were indicated as a good fit. If we look down here, we'll see the table of results, which again is something that you'll see on all of the reports. We're going to see each row as a record of one of those conversations. We start out with the candidate names in column 1, and then the top level rating that your team gave that candidate at the end of the conversation. So a few yeses, a maybe, a no, a yes. These yeses are what are added up to make the three candidates as good fit. So this is the three yeses being summarized here as good fit. The next column over, we see which member of the team conducted this interview. So if you have multiple members of your team meeting with candidates, you might see different names in this interviewer column. And then finally, we see what day and time that conversation took place. We can click on any of these rows to get some more information. So if I click on, let's say, John Stewart here, we're going to see John's candidate profile. This is something that would have been filled out when this candidate was registering for the event. The data available here is dependent on the questions that the host of the event set up as the candidates were registering, as well as what the candidate filled out. Not all of these questions are going to be mandatory, so if they are optional questions, you might see different levels of completeness on these profiles depending on what the candidate decided to fill out. We then see the notes that your team took during the conversation with the candidate. These are not notes that are visible to the candidate, these are just internal notes for your team, so you could see this information here. If I close this summary of the conversation with John Stewart, we'll go back to the view of the table. And if you want to download the information, you can access all of the information as a CSV, comma separated value file. And this is also available on all of the reports. So you could click this button to download that file. If we move on to the next report here, we're going to look at the leads report. The leads report is only going to be available if the host of your event has enabled a feature that allows candidates to pick your booth to express interest. If you're not seeing the leads report, then this would mean that your event did not have that feature enabled. So you might just see these two other reports on the left here. With the leads report, you'll see the summary of how many candidates clicked that button on your booth, as well as, again, the candidate profiles, if you click on them, will show with further detail. If your team had multiple booths in the same event, you'll see the booth name presented here. So if you're seeing multiple names here and your team had multiple booths in the event, you'll be able to differentiate between the booths in this column here. And once again, all of that data is available for download in the download report button. If we move on to the group sessions report, we'll see the summary information is how many of the candidates joined a group session that was being hosted in your booth. So if your team was hosting group sessions where one of your team members is meeting with multiple candidates at the same time, you'll see which of the candidates joined your booth to participate in that session and who was hosting that session. So this is the member of your team hosting that session, when that candidate joined the session, and you can have a look at how long that candidate hung out and had conversations with the team, or maybe was just sticking around to learn some more information and watch the session. Once again, we can click on any of these rows to see the candidate's completed profile, and if we go back out here, we could download that report as a CSV. If you have questions about any of the data or reporting in the event, please contact the Hellohire support team, support@tryhellohire.com. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Have a great day.